Let's take a look at a basic solver problem. The solver can be one of the most difficult features in Excel to master, but with a little practice you may get the hang of it and find it very useful. The goal seek command is handy for problems that involve an exact target value that depends on a single unknown value. For problems that are more complex, you should use the solver. The solver can handle problems that involve many variable cells and can help you find combinations of variables that maximize or minimize a target cell. It also specifies one or more constraint conditions that must be met for the solution to be valid. Let's take a look at a very basic equation that we can use inside of solver. I have over here x plus y equal to 10. Now this can be any combination of numbers as long as it comes up to 10, but we're going to apply some constraints to this, and those constraints are that x and y are both integers. That means they can't be fractional. X must be greater than or equal to 5 and y must be greater than or equal to 3. And as long as all these are met and the result comes up in 10, we will solve for x and y. Now what are the values that are potentials for x, let's say? Well, x can be greater than or equal to 5, so it could be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and so on. Y must be greater than or equal to 3, so it can be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and so on. We can even use negative values if we want, but doesn't apply for us here in this case. So let's see how we would go ahead and work this. Excel solver will come in and work this problem until it comes up with a solution. It can be fairly random. Let's see which solutions apply. If I take 5 plus 3, that doesn't work, it's 8. If I take 5 plus 4, that doesn't work. 5 plus 5, that does equal 10. 6 plus 3 is 9. 6 plus 4 is 10, so that works. 6 plus 5 is 11. And we have 7 plus 3, which works, but anything beyond that doesn't work. So within the constraints, it looks like we're just going to be dealing with this set of numbers here. Any others won't count because they won't equal to 10. I'm going to start my solver, but before I do, I have to create an equation that I can use inside the solver. So I'm just going to go ahead and create a dummy equation. I'm going to type in 1 in cell B1. I'm going to type in the number 1 in cell C1, and I will go ahead and type in and say equals 1 plus 1, and that should equal to 10 when we're finished. Okay, so to start the solver we have to have an equation in place. Let's see how we get the solver going. Now I could come out to my data tab, so I'll start my solver, and I want to set the objective, which would be this cell, to the number 10. That's my target. I could find a maximum value, I could find a minimum value, but I'm going to constrain it to an exact value of 10. That's what we're looking for. By changing these cells, these two cells here, B1 and C1. And now I'm going to add these constraints down here. I'm going to come over and say add a constraint, and I'm going to say cell reference B1 through C1 must be integers, and I will add that. I will also come back and say B1 must be greater than or equal to 5, and I'll add that, and I'll say C1 must be greater than or equal to 3, and I'll add that, and then I'll cancel. And we can see my constraints here. So I'm all set to go. I'm telling it that these two values must be integers. This one must be equal to or greater than 5, and this one must be greater than or equal to 3, which is what we're looking for. Now I'll go ahead and click on solve, and it goes ahead and solves if it can find a solution. I'll click on solve, and solver says it came down and found a solution. As it went through its iterations, it found 6, 4 as an example that worked, so it went ahead and plugged these in. Now if I want to, I could go ahead and return to the solver parameter dialog box and keep the solution, or I could just go ahead and get out of solver, restore the original values, keep the solution if I'd like. I'm going to go ahead and restore the original values and return to the solver parameter dialog. I'll go ahead and click OK, and it takes me back just the way I was before I started. I'm going to come out and click on options, and I'm going to click on show iterations and click OK. And when I go ahead and solve this, it will try step by step to find a solution. Now the first one it comes up with is 5 plus 3, which is 8. That doesn't work. The next iteration it tries, it finds 6 plus 4, which equals to 10. So once it finds a solution, it goes ahead and stops. I'll click on stop. I'll go ahead and keep the solver solution, and I won't return to the parameter box. I'll click OK, and I've resolved my problem here with 6 and 4.